All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Holistic Justice League, the All Field Zoom. I'm so happy that all of you guys are here and are ready to take on life and expand to be the biggest version of ourselves. Part of our Holistic Justice League is to have personal development. Everything that we do is for ourselves, to expand, to grow, be the best version of ourselves so we can put that out in the universe and see that coming back to us. And today we're going to talk about acknowledgement and really starting to learn how to acknowledge from the future. And I want to start off with the definition of acknowledgement. Okay, so acknowledgement shows appreciation or gratitude for someone or something. Okay, so acknowledgement, showing appreciation or gratitude for someone or something. Acknowledgement is an opportunity to allow someone to be fully seen. It is a great gift to be given unconditional without expecting anything in return. Okay, so acknowledgement is very powerful. Acknowledgement is an opportunity for others to see that they're awesome, that they're beautiful, that they're amazing souls, and that they deserve to be seen by their light. So all of us are perfect exactly how we are, okay? We're not a work in progress. We are all perfectly where we need to be. So I want us to grab a piece of pen and paper right now and write down things that you would like to be acknowledged for. For example, I want to be acknowledged for being such a great mom of my dog. I take so much good care of him. I want to be acknowledged for being present to all of you guys whenever you need me. I always make time. So I want you to take 3 minutes and I'm going to time it. And I want you to write a couple things that you feel that you would like to be acknowledged for, that you would like to be seen for, that no one has acknowledged you. Maybe it's you clean the house all day and the house is spot on, and then your partner walks into the house and doesn't say anything. It doesn't acknowledge for the work that you've done. So take on 3 minutes, and I'm going to start the timer right now. Okay. And write down those things that you'd like to be acknowledged for. Things that you want to be appreciated for, things that you want people to be grateful for. You can also write things that you want to be acknowledged for in the future. Like maybe you want to be acknowledged for being a diamond. You want to be acknowledged for becoming the crown of the company. You want to be acknowledged for being the leader the company's been waiting for. Okay, start wrapping it up. All right, so we are all humans and we have a fundamental need to be seen and to feel that we belong. So I want to ask for some volunteers to share, if you're open, if you want to share, what do you want to be acknowledged for? And you guys are going to see the magic that it happens when you tell people what things do you want to be acknowledged for.
Can I volunteer?
Yes.
Okay, so
What would you like to be acknowledged for?
I just want to share that as I'm writing things down, I was crying because I'm emotional. So I want to be acknowledged for how emotional I am and how resilient I am, how courageous I am.
Wow, thank you for sharing. I want to acknowledge you for how emotional you are. Do you get it?
Yeah. Well, I was crying anyway. I cry all the time.
It's beautiful, you know.
Thank you.
It's very vulnerable to show your emotions at all the time. So I want to acknowledge you for being resilient and courageous and vulnerable and open to all of us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else want to share what you want to be acknowledged for?
I'll go.
Awesome.
All right. Determination, passionate about helping others, my work ethic, ability to get things done, fierce friend, open-hearted, and my positivity.
Wow. That's so beautiful, Jay. I really want to acknowledge you for being such a passionate and compassionate lady ever since I met you the first day. And I want to acknowledge you for being such a great friend and be so positive all the time. Do you get it? Right? It's actually it's super awesome to be acknowledged for those things that we wish to be acknowledged for, because it allows us to be more motivated towards life. When someone acknowledges you for being such a true friend, what do you want to do? You want to be a true friend, right? You can't be a bad friend to someone that is not acknowledging you for being awesome. There's a feeling that gets created when we acknowledge our customers for wanting to take a stand for their health and their journey. We actually motivating them to keep on going. We give them fuel to be seen for their transformation. When we acknowledge our brand partners for doing such a great job for building their teams, we motivate them. There is a study that shows that when we acknowledge people that we work with, there's an 89% motivation. And I want to talk about 3 tips that it's amazing to acknowledge, and that we should be doing this, that it's our job, because there's things that people are going to forget about you, but they're never going to forget how you make them feel. And an acknowledgement makes our customers and our brand partners feel awesome, and they're going to be relating to you very differently when they feel they're appreciated and they're acknowledged for their work and for what they put on in the world. So now I want you to take 1 minute and write down names of people that you want to acknowledge. Maybe there's those people that show up in your life every day. Maybe it's a customer, maybe it's a brand partner, maybe someone that you've forgotten to see. And acknowledgement is one of the easiest things to forget. It's been hidden for so long. Maybe you want to acknowledge your mom or your partner, those people that are just haven't been appreciated for a while because we just get so busy with our lives. Maybe it's your customers that had an incredible transformation and we haven't acknowledged their determination and their will to be better, to be healthier. So I want to move forward in talking about 3 tips that are super important in acknowledgement. And tip number 1 is effective leadership. Effective leadership. Acknowledgement is an aspect of communications that make leaders more effective. Have you ever had a moment in your life when you did a job or work and someone acknowledged you and then you felt this like fire inside of you and they're like, oh my gosh, they acknowledged me for being able to do muscle ups? Like, I've been working on this for 2 years and my coach finally acknowledged me. Like, to me, that meant a lot. When Lucy and Raw acknowledged me for hitting executive, I literally felt like the new crown. Like, that feeling of being an executive, I felt like I was just like the crown and the founder of the company. And he gave me so much fuel to hit diamond just because, you know, I was so motivated. So acknowledgement leads to an increase in motivation and greater performance, whether it is from our customers to stay accountable. When I acknowledge my customers for completing their 10 days, like the hardest part, taking the first step to their transformation of their lives, it gives them fuel and greater motivation to keep on going through the program. When I acknowledge new customers, when I acknowledge my brand partners, when they achieve their ranks, it just is automatic. It gives a heightened energy and more positive feelings towards me and towards the work that they're doing, because they're going to relate to me a lot different when I acknowledge them versus when they've been doing the cleanse and they've been working on the business and I don't say anything to them. So acknowledgement is key, is the engine of this business, recognition, allowing them to be fully seen and fully embraced for how they are. Not acknowledging leads to this feeling of being rejected, neglected, disconnected, resentful, or worse, in worst case scenario, it makes them feel sorrow or withdraw. You know, when you clean your house or you fixed your hair and you cook dinner and your partner just doesn't even acknowledge anything, you feel this sense of rejection, of withdrawal. Like, oh my gosh, I did all of this for nothing. It's a human need to be seen. We need to understand this fundamental. Everybody wants to talk and everybody wants to be seen, even the introverts. So practicing and mastering the skill of acknowledgement is super, super powerful. Another tip of why sharing this gift of acknowledgement is super awesome is because it boosts health and well-being, both on the giver and in the receiver. Gratitude and forgiveness, guys, has an impact on people's health and well-being. So there is a feeling, and there's many studies that show that acknowledgement prevents chronic diseases. Isn't that crazy? But having this feeling of happiness, of wellness, of being seen creates this adrenaline in our body. It's a physical reaction that makes us more healthy. Just like being sad produces toxins in our body, right? When someone is feeling rejected and with withdrawal and sorrow, it creates all these toxins in our body that get stuck in our liver and it makes us sick. I mean, how many of us ever had a heartbreak or we broke up with a boyfriend and we literally got sick? You know, we lost weight, we couldn't get out of bed. So our emotions are super important in our well-being. So acknowledgement helps your brand partners and it helps you. When you acknowledge someone and they're so grateful to you, guess what? It produces this spike of energy within ourselves and to who we give the acknowledgement to. So acknowledgement makes people feel good and it creates positive emotion. So every time you acknowledge someone, you are going to create a rush of positivity and of love, you know, a different vibration, a higher vibration. So number 3, acknowledgement this is the most profound, because acknowledgement can create a whole world difference in who we are acknowledging. It creates a huge impact in someone's life. We never know how impactful it could be to acknowledge someone that maybe hasn't been seen ever in their lives, or never been acknowledged for their hard work. Whether it is for our customers or brand partners, your mom, your friend, whoever it is in your life, what we're teaching you here is not only for the business, it's for you to put into place with everyone in your reality. Okay, so we can't just go overboard about acknowledging absolutely everything they do, otherwise acknowledgement doesn't have any power. But there's always something that you can acknowledge someone for. Like Raw acknowledged me a couple of days ago for always making food and doing the laundry, and for being such a careful partner. And I was like, really? Are you tripping? Like, really, are you acknowledging me for this? And he actually made me feel good, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm seen. He actually sees that I do the laundry and the clean and that I make the dinner. So it makes people feel good. It's very profound, and everyone cares appreciation for their work. Everyone wants to experience this. So by recognizing your colleagues, your customer, it helps them to connect also to a personal level. We can connect with people on more deeper levels when we allow them to be seen, when we tell them, I see you. I remember your name. We met 3 weeks ago, but I remember your name. You know, it makes people feel memorable. So making a little bit of an effort to remember a customer's name, to remember who we work with, it's super important. It makes a world difference, because it will set you apart from your competition also. When you acknowledge people, you allow them to create a feeling that will set you apart. A customer, a client, they might pick you. You know why? Because you acknowledge them, because you make them feel good in the past. There's many customers that are being approached by other PREM brand partners. And they come to me and they tell me, I want to get it from you, not from them. And I'm like, why? And they're like, I love your energy. And it's just because I am very consciously acknowledging for something that they've done in the past. So I create a memorable experience and people remember. Okay, so practicing acknowledgement and recognition from now on, it's key to our business. It's key to have success, because we're in the people business, and learning how to relate to people is super important. You're gonna notice how your relationships transform to a deeper level when you allow people to express themselves and to be seen. Listening is another tip. When we listen and we mirror what they said, I see that you're tired. I hear you. I understand you. I know you're tired. That you're acknowledging what they said, so people want to be heard. So mirroring a couple of the words that they say, it's key as well. That means that we have to be present, that we have to be here, listening to what they have to say. So saying hello and seeing people in their eyes is another way of acknowledging. Okay, ask how they are. You're acknowledging them by asking them about their lives. How are you? Inquire about a project. Showing interest is a way of acknowledging. Sometimes we hold these conversations with people that they don't even care. They forgot our name and they're not really into our conversation. They're just not even present. We don't feel acknowledged. We're like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. We create this negative emotion, and it doesn't make us desire to even engage in the future. So we don't want that to happen. Remembering their name, How to Win Friends and Influence People, a famous book, talks about remembering people's names. Every single CEO will tell you that remembering your staff name will make your corporation a lot more successful. As I said at the beginning, 89% increase in motivation by your staff if you acknowledge them. I was reading earlier, JP Morgan, he used to oversee 300,000 people. And he was one of the most rememberable men because he will learn his staff name. He will memorize them. He will do whatever it took to memorize their name. He will take time out of their day to send them a message, to go see them. And he made himself memorable and important because everybody was seen to his eyes. And I want to wrap it up with a quote, and then I want to open it up to every one of you to share what showed up for you. But we can also, so before that, I wanted to say, acknowledging from the future. I just borrow an iron cast skillet because I'm in this Airbnb, and the landlord, she gave it to me, and she said, "Thanks for taking care of my beloved pan." She acknowledged me from the future. So now guess what? I have no other option than take care of the freaking pan, because she already acknowledged me for taking care of it. You guys see how it works? So we already create a different future by acknowledging now. So have this into practice. It's incredible because it would allow you to create the results that you desire. Thank you for taking care of my beloved pan. And I haven't even used it yet. So I have no option than to take care of the pan. And this is things that we can start using in our business. Thanks for showing us such a powerful leader every day. Thanks for calling me every day and keeping me updated. Guess what? My brand partner is not going to have any other choice than call me every day and keep me updated, because I already acknowledge how powerful and awesome she is for calling me every day and keeping me updated. So I'm creating my future by acknowledging them now. I know it will take a little time to digest, but sooner than later you'll get it, and start Googling these topics. And I want to wrap it up by this quote that is super awesome. And it goes like this: people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. How do you want people to remember you? That's the question. If you guys have anything to say, please feel free to unmute yourself. I want to hear what shows up for you.
Okay, I'm sorry to say this. Can I share something?
Yes.
Super powerful because it really relates to you, Sina. Your name is Sina?
Sima.
Sima, sorry. Do I have your permission to what I want to say right now?
Yes.
Okay. So I messaged you Instagram. You did not acknowledge me. You must have forgotten. Were you?
Honestly, my Instagram, I have like hundreds of messages, and I sometimes I don't even read them. Yeah.
Me too. I have 100 messages too, but I'm just saying. So I think you practice what you preach. As human, we all make mistakes. You know that. So obviously you saw the message, but you just didn't bother or just forgotten. Tell me your version, please.
Honestly, I've probably forgotten because I don't even remember opening your message. So I apologize if that touched you and affected you. It was not what I intended.
Yeah, I thought so, but it's really good to be acknowledged by you, by what everyone's hearing. So the fact that I didn't want to tell you this, the fact that you were saying this, I think you're a really good person. Obviously, you made a mistake, so thank you for sharing that.
Of course. No, thank you for bringing it up. It's really important that we all come complete at all times, because holding these things prevent us from expanding. So I want all of us to be open at all times with everyone. And I also want all of us not to take anything personally. We're dealing with hundreds of people, hundreds of customers. There's customers that I don't respond just because I'm so busy, or I open some of your messages and then I forget to respond because I just got so busy, but nothing is ever personal. It's never anything against anyone. So Thank you so much for sharing. I'm sure this shows up in many other of us here on the call. So it's really important that we are transparent at all times.
Thank you, Sima.
You're awesome. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll go if that's cool. All right. So the quote that you just talked about, the people will forget about what you said. People will forget the way you made them feel. Where I used to work before a lot of things happened, I worked at a detention center, like a juvenile detention center and like a mental health crisis center. And there was I used to work at a mental health crisis center and a detention center, and that quote was on our wall. And my dad he was the director of it and he ran it, and that was kind of his big message. And it's just so powerful that that's what you're talking about now, because that's kind of what my journey has come through down here in Savannah, Georgia, taking care of some of my dad's stuff. He passed away in last October, and it's just been like a transformation for me going up, and it's just a cool synchronicity. I think that's the quote that you said, and that's a quote that I saw every day in work, and it's so true. You know, emotions are a part of us, and they make us who we are. And shout out to Super Muscle for being super emotional. I'm emotional. It's a vulnerability to be a human, and it's just really cool to be a part of this community, because you know we're opening ourselves up, and that's how you shine the brightest, I think. So just thanks for everybody. Thank you, Seema. I thought I'd just say that.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Definitely. We're in the people business, so we have to learn how to work with ourselves. Like I'm learning every single day. If it wasn't for this work, I would be a mess.
Seema?
Yes.
Hey, it's Michael. How are you?
Hi, Michael. I'm great.
And hello, everybody. I'd just like to say that I hope that with an open heart and a place from love, that we can celebrate the perfection of our imperfections.
Yes, because we're all perfect. Like I said, we're not a work in progress. Everyone is perfect. We are infinite.
I would like to say something. This is Dale.
Hi, Dale.
Hi, I'm pretty new. I just signed up for a brand partner on the 7th, and in terms like just what I'm getting out of here and seeing it firsthand, like acknowledgement from Mr. Rob Carney, my boy. I just met him on the 7th, and you know, as soon as I got some people coming in for the ultimate lifestyle transformation. And just waking up, seeing his text, just like, dude, you're crushing it. And then like getting a text from JJ, it really does inspire me to just like keep going full fledged. And it's just like, you know, acknowledgement is so powerful, and it's kind of hidden, like you were saying. So I'm really glad. I want to acknowledge you for creating this specific Zoom, because it really brings it to the surface for me. So thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. I was actually really nervous about this. I was telling Rob, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a subject that I really want to talk about, but I don't feel prepared to even share with people. And I was just so nervous. So thanks so much. That means a lot to me, because I was like, oh, should I just cancel the Zoom? I don't know. So thank you so much.
Hey, can I just acknowledge you for not canceling the Zoom and helping everybody out? I feel like it's a lot of, good energy being spared right now.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks so much. And thanks for being here.
I would like to be acknowledged for being an amazing father, for my self-development, for spiritual growth, perseverance, intelligence, having a positive attitude, for being helpful to strangers, being a positive example for other adults, trying to wake people up. And in the future, I would like to be a top producer in the company.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Can I share a quick story?
You guys,
help a stranger today.
What did you say?
I said, can I share a quick story on how I was able to help out a stranger today?
Yes.
So I was going for like a jog in the park, right? So I just happened to be like going for a jog, and I looked down and I saw a red iPhone. So like initially, because, I've lost my phone before, and I was just like, it kind of sucked because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'll pick up the phone, take it to the police. Ultimately, I was like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave it there. So, and it was like a weird jog because I was just like, my brain was going fast, and I was just kept thinking like, should I go this way? Should I keep going? So I kept going. About a half a mile down the road, I see this SUV stop, and the lady gets out the SUV, and she just started like looking around. And then I instantly knew. I was like, hey, did you lose a red iPhone? And she was like, yeah, oh my gosh. She was freaking out, and I walked her to the phone, but it was just like one of those synchronistic moments that was you know, it was really cool to just try to like, you know, help people out. And it just like synchronistic moment. It just showed me like, even though my brain was going fast and I wasn't in the best like mindset, it was like, I felt it was kind of like the universe's way of being like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, you in the synchronistic flow, just keep it up. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, it was meant to happen. You know, maybe you manifested her right there to give it back to her. So this is how powerful we can be. We are extremely powerful. I mean, an atom can create an atomic bomb. And guess what we are made out of? We're made out of atoms. So we have all the power in the world. We just have to believe that we do. And when we tap into the feeling, it's when we start to create. You know, you want to be a diamond, start acting like a diamond. You want to be a leader in the company, start acting like the leader. Journal on that feeling. How does it feel like to be a leader? Because only from that feeling is that we're going to be able to create our reality. If you want to make money, create the feeling. How does it feel to have all this money? And start acting like you have it, right? A person that has money is not stingy, is not watching every dollar that they spend because they have a lot of money. So start embracing the feelings of what you want to create. And that's how you're going to be able to manifest. Focus in the feeling. And I got this lady that she's 97% crown. And she contacted me to get my advice on how she can make it to crown. And then I talked to Ra about it. And then Ra said the same thing. She's got to focus on being a crown. That's what's going to make her crown. Start acting like a crown. Create that momentum. But if we don't create the feeling of what we want to create, we're never going to have it. We're going to create the feeling of what we are creating, which if it's doubt, you're creating the feeling of doubt and you're going to keep creating more doubts.
Can I add something?
Yes.
About acknowledgement. You mentioned acknowledgement from the future, which is it's a pretty advanced topic. So with Rick, we could acknowledge his vision and his dream about being a top producer, and it's so awesome that he's showing up that way. So like this is kind of an advanced topic because we're speaking into existence a reality for somebody else. And I just want to add something that also comes up, especially when you start getting an organization and even as you start growing personally with yourself. So in your organization, some people might be realizing that the way that they've been being is blocking some things in their life. And you might also come into realization that as you grow as a person, you might realize like programs that we're running and either they're currently stopping progress in our life, or you're just like, you kind of like are so over them. And something that I find helpful as a leader, as somebody who is, you know, when you guys start developing your organizations, you're going to have a lot of people confide personal stuff in you. And something that really helps people out is to make sure that all of the attributes about ourselves that we're resisting, they're always going to stay there as long as we resist them. And so a little trick that we can help when we're coaching somebody is having people acknowledge the things about themselves that they don't like. Say they're really shy, okay? And they want to get over this attribute. As a personal development coach, you want to make sure that they know to acknowledge this trait, that it kept them safe at a certain point in their life. Maybe they were shy because they protected themselves because when they're in 4th grade, they got bullied. So it helps to find out and talk through this and make sure that yourself and or people you're helping out are acknowledging the parts about them that they don't that they want to release, because that's the opposite of resisting them, right? You accept them and you realize why they served you, and you really acknowledge, this emotion served me so well throughout my entire life, and I'm so happy that it was here. And you don't even need to say, I don't need it anymore. Just the straight up acknowledgement and recognition that everything about herself, as you said, Seema, is perfect, is a part of this process. And so as you guys are releasing and surrendering to your own attributes and the attributes of your team, make sure that you're not only acknowledging the good parts about yourself, in quotes, right? But even the bad, even though they're not bad, because they're there for a reason. And we're all going to be in the position where somebody's talking to us about parts about them that they don't like. And rather than like saying, yeah, quit being like that, flip it on them and have them actually be thankful and grateful for these things. And that could be something that changes the lives of many people that you speak to. That was it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Ra. And I was reading this book, The Power of Acknowledgement, and in one of the chapters, he says to acknowledge if you're jealous of someone or something, if you have envy, to acknowledge them for that you don't like about them, because you're going to make it disappear. Like Ra says, you release that resistance that is keeping you away. So if you acknowledge this girl because she has an amazing body and she's fit, and this whole time you're just being jealous, that's why you didn't like her, and now you acknowledge her for the hard work that she puts in her body, then guess what? You create so much freedom for yourself because you release that resistance, and now you can move forward, you can expand. So acknowledging all that you don't like about yourself and others is super important, because we want to start shedding that weight that we carry, all that resistance that we carry with us at all times. So does anybody wants to share anything else?
I would like to announce that I'm extremely jealous of Ra's hair and his facial hair, honestly. So I need to get that off my chest.
I know, he's from a romantic novel. Look at that hair. He just needs a horse. Did somebody else wanted to share? I thought I heard two voices.
Yeah, I'd like to share something.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wrote this for myself, but I think this would be a great thing to just acknowledge everyone here in the group for. I'd like to acknowledge everyone for being a leader and creating health, abundance, prosperity, and love throughout the new earth. That's just something I felt like is super powerful, because it feels that we're all already doing it. But yeah, it just felt solid to say that to everyone.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all.
We all needed to hear that. All you guys feel acknowledged right now. All of us have this feeling of the gratitude for you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You are one of us as well. So we acknowledge you for that as well. And
if I may, yeah.
Yeah, Tanto?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I want to say hello, love to all of you. I wanted to acknowledge you all as well as myself for being vulnerable, because I understand why Seema was like, I don't know if I should do this. This is a difficult topic to work around. And so I want to acknowledge you all for being vulnerable, for sharing, because I know when we don't share, we can't get hurt. And so we often fall into this cycle of not sharing and not releasing, not opening ourselves and opening our hearts. And so I want to say thank you to all of you, and I acknowledge all of you for being brave enough and strong enough to share. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And definitely we are in the business of being vulnerable at all times. We are all entrepreneurs here. And being a salesperson means being rejected on a daily basis. And every time we open our mouth to share our superfoods, to share opportunity, there's a 100% chance that we're going to be rejected. And being rejected doesn't feel too good, right? And we're still doing the work. We're still putting it out there because we are building so much resilience and so much courage in our character that it's awesome. Being vulnerable is awesome. It allows us to bond to people. When someone's vulnerable and authentic, you automatically bond. So let's all be vulnerable at all times. It's a strength. Thanks, Danto. Okay.
Yeah, I'd
anyone?
like to share something if I could.
Yes. Who multidimensional?
This is
Brett.
Brett, but I
Oh,
like
hi,
made
Brett. I couldn't see you in
Yeah.
the darkness.
I created this own little thing that I thought it was pretty applicable to create a structure to how to go about, you know, the levels of consciousness and how we're coming from the heart here with acknowledgement. I just wanted to share that I want to be acknowledged for my leadership qualities and my willingness to serve, my heart. I want to acknowledge my potential and integrate it. I would like to be acknowledged for being a diamond and being a great uncle, a spirit guide. And I'd also like to acknowledge my uplines, downlines, my co-humans, my elders, my students, my family, and the earth.
That's so beautiful. Thanks so much for sharing, Brett. And I acknowledge you for being such a powerful leader and a powerful diamond. I acknowledge you for being such a spiritual, loving individual. I remember you when you first signed up and now where you are. It's like a completely different Brett. If you guys would have known Brett a year and a half ago, it's a totally different Brett. He created so many things in his life. When I met him, he was an electrician. Now he's a yoga licensed instructor. He bought a brand new truck. Like, his life is completely different, and he did it all by himself, going through all of his breakdowns, making them all breakthroughs. So thanks, Brett, for being here and for sharing your light with all of us.
Yeah, as you say, you're in the business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I feel like, in all honesty, thanks to the Holistic Justice League and to you, Seema, and Bra and Troy and all of Lucy, it's really just a big, as you say, personal development system. And we're all in this as a collective consciousness.
Yes. Yep, we're all on this together. Thank you, Brett. Does anyone wants to share the last words?
I'll go. So I want to acknowledge everyone for taking risks and paving their own path to success, because it's actually a really scary thing. And I'm pretty young, and looking at all of you guys who are a lot older and who are actually doing it, it's not as easy as you may think. And as I keep on going, I'm like, oh, this is actually really difficult. And I want to acknowledge everyone for making it happen, and people to look up to.
Thank you, Bronson. Thank you so much for sharing and for being here. Bronson, he's one of my Instagram friends that followed me for a while and messaged me 100 times, and I never got back to him. And then he called me, and I still didn't get back to him because I was so busy and I wanted to, but it was never the right time because then I forgot. And he's still here. He made it happen beyond all the obstacle and opposition. And
I actually didn't really think about it too much. So I started from Santa Cruz, and I was watching Troy, and Seema came on Troy's YouTube channel. I've been watching Troy for like 2 years, and she was on there talking about the Holistic Justice League and Purium and whatever. And I was watching those videos like, man, I want to go to Los Angeles. So I fucking quit my job and I drove my ass to Los Angeles. I did I do murals, and I was like, I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna be an artist. I'm the top shit. And I got here. I'm like, oh fuck, this is not easy. This is yeah. And I'm glad, I stuck with it. I met the people who I came down here to meet, and I thought that was fucking cool. And I got a place, and and then the corona hit, and I just been doing the best I can with that. So just day by day.
Yay, thank you so much for sharing. He actually showed up to the event at Lucy's place on a Thursday. And I was like, whoa, you made it here? I was so surprised. I was like, wait, you came to California and you were in our happy hour? It was awesome to see him walk through the door. I was like in shock, but he made it happen. So you're powerful, you can create anything if you really want it. And remember what you tell yourself, because if you tell yourself it's difficult, you're gonna make it difficult because you're telling yourself that it's difficult. You're gonna get more difficult. So let's always tell ourselves a better story. It's easy. I'm healthy. Let's create that. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the call. It means a lot to me and to each single one of us. Every single of your stories and sharing touch all of our hearts. It's very important that we all share what we have to say, because we can all relate to what you went through. When we share our struggles in our authentic selves, we connect with one another. So I acknowledge you all for showing up. I know it's Sunday and it's late, but we're here and we're learning together. So thank you for showing up. And we have our Thursday meetup this coming Thursday. The flyer's already up on our Holistic Justice League Simple Systems Facebook group. So go in there, find the flyer. The link is there. We don't have to know everything about the business. We don't have to have our transformations already done to start sharing with our communities. We have hundreds of testimonials that the program does work. And why wait to share health with someone that needs it? Because we need our own transformation first. It doesn't make sense. So let's invite our friends, everyone that we know, to our Thursday Zoom at 7 p.m. and get the details on the Facebook group and start sending that out so we can start impacting everyone's life. All right, guys, have an awesome night. Love you all.
Love you, Seema. Thank you.
Love you too, Alisa.
Bye, Seema.
Much love, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Everyone.
you.
Peace. Thank you, Seema.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Russell.
Bye. Oh my God. Love you. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.